Are you ready?
Yes.
Stand by. .391.
391.
Stand by. 335.
335.
Stand by. 2-9.
Hey YouTube, this is the P-38 pilot. Come in with another firearms review. Today we will be reviewing a Ruger Mark IV Hunter that I have modified. As you can see, this is the flagship model of the Ruger Mark IV. It's got a 6.8 inch bull barrel, 10 round magazines. On this I have the Quartzen custom grips. I also have the Quartzen trigger. I upgraded the firing pin and the extractor to both Quartzen products. I have this thumb rest from Striprin Custom Guns. I got the Tan Cross Halo charging ring. Then of course I have a Vortex Venom on a outer impact mount. The Vortex Venom is a 2 MOA. So, about this pistol. I bought this a couple months ago. What it is, it's a semi-automatic pistol using the blowback action. For those of you who have shot earlier Mark series like the Mark III, the Mark II, or the Mark I, you know how much of a pain they are to take apart and put back together. With the Mark IV, you put it on safe. There's this button on the back. You press the button, and it swings open like your standard AR-15. And from there, you can just pull the bolt right out. This is dirty from probably 2,000 or 3,000 rounds since last cleaning. Overall, it's a fairly simple design. It's just a cylindrical tube with a mass on a spring. So, the barrel is 6.8 inches, it's a bull barrel, and it's been fluted. As you can see, the top and bottom flutes are not full length. There is 6 flutes. They're about a 1/4 inch wide, and probably about an 1/8 inch deep or so. So, sights. For those of you who pay attention to Ruger's offerings, you might have noticed that the sights are different on each model. If you compare the competition versus the Hunter, you'll notice that the competition, or the Hunter actually has a V-notch, and then the competition just has a normal square notch. The Hunter is also the only model with fiber optic front sights. These are replaceable. It comes with white, then green as shown here, and red. The grips that come with it are like a red hardwood, most likely a laminate. They have medallions on the side, the Ruger medallions. A nice feature about this is it has a magazine ejector spring, as seen right here. What this does is it allows your magazines to eject freely with quite a bit of force. Striprin thumb rest adds about 1 inch to the side of your gun, and when you're in the shooting grip, it gives you something to push down a little bit. I will be throwing in footage from one of the Steel Challenge matches I did with this. Overall, this is a great pistol. It's been really reliable, although I have reports from people at the range that I go to quite often on the firing pin breaking. Hence why I have a aftermarket firing pin. What happens is, I believe the firing pin is a stamped component. So with that stamped component, there needs to be a hole for the pilot punch as it's coming off of or through the rollers. So I believe that pilot punch is put in the wrong spot, so that firing pin has a hole in a not so great spot. And from what I've heard, this spot, or if you have firing pin issues, the firing pin will break right through this hole. I'll have to find mine and throw in a picture to show you what hole I'm talking about. Overall, this is probably my favorite .22 pistol to shoot. I'd like to get my hands on one of the higher end Browning Buckmarks and possibly a Smith & Wesson 41 to compare. Even a Smith & Wesson Victory would be kind of nice to compare. Magazines are compatible with the Mark III series. They're just your standard Ruger 10-round magazines. You can get aftermarket followers that make these 11+1. I'm very happy with the Volquartsen trigger. It takes away the magazine disconnect, which in my opinion is a useless lawyer-driven feature. So I'm very happy with Volquartsen's products. In fact, I might pick up one of their Scorpion pistols in the near future. One accessory that I have found to be extremely useful is this ultimate clip loader. So what it does is it allows you to load single stack magazines by holding it up, inserting the magazine, and you can feed in 10 rounds with very little effort. And then occasionally you have issues with one getting pulled out but not seated in the magazine. You can adjust that by adjusting this screw right here, which sits on the follower right there, and then depending on how far that is out, it pushes the follower down so much, and it's the only way to fine-tune this other than spring tension here. This is a highly recommended accessory. I would also recommend getting about 5 or so mags, or at least 5 mags for this, because .22 is now widely available. Prices aren't below pre-2008 levels yet, but we're getting closer. And this thing's a lot of fun for beginners and experienced shooters alike. Accuracy at 25 yards, you can easily get all 10 shots inside of a US quarter without any additional optics. I mean, yes, there's a red dot, but that's practically an iron sight. With a little bit of practice and the right ammo, you could potentially get all 10 shots inside of a penny. As far as other accuracy or practical accuracy, with this pistol I can drill 2 to 3 inch swingers at 50 yards, and on a good day I am capable of hitting about 4 inch swingers at 100. Normally I can hit bigger swingers at 100 with any pistol I own. The red dot really helps shooting at the smaller targets. It just provides a nice window all the way around the target, so when you do your Kentucky windage and hold, it's easier. In competition, this thing is awesome. I'm not sure how well it stacks up against Volquartsen, but using this pistol I have done extremely well in some local local steel challenge matches. I do have a holster, but with this thumb rest I have to modify the holster in order for this to fit in there. Overall, I would highly recommend this or any of the Mark series or Mark IV pistols, either the .22-45 or the Mark IVs, or the standard Mark IVs, to anybody. It's just a well-made, reliable pistol with reasonable accuracy. I'd like to thank you for watching, and please stay tuned for future videos. Thank you, and have a good day.
Are you ready? Stand by.
So the X5, I believe, was the ES.
410.
410.
Stand by.
Oh, you betcha. Anytime. And then the rules are 593. When you're shooting from behind cover,
Stand by.
they actually have a fault line now. Okay.
632.
632. So now there's a fault line, and as long
Stand
as
by.
you're behind it, you can step on it, you can step over it.
490.
490. There's a fault line right here.
Last string.
Those targets. If you step on the front, you get to shoot.
Stand by.